Hi, I'm Mrs. Wilson, and I have a story for you today. I have a book called My Very Favorite Book in the Whole Wide World. The author of this book's name is Malcolm Mitchell, and there is a photo of him on the back of the book. You can see that he's wearing a football jersey. Malcolm Mitchell used to play for the University of Georgia, which is actually where Mrs. Werko is from. Malcolm Mitchell also was drafted to the NFL and played for the New England Patriots. He did get hurt though. He had a knee injury, and so his career only lasted a couple of years. But he's still working today. You can see under his name it says Literacy Crusader. Malcolm Mitchell's new job is to write stories and to encourage kids to read books. So I have this one to share with you today. My very favorite book in the whole wide world. Hi, I'm Henley, and this is a story about finding my very favorite book in the whole wide world. But it wasn't as easy as it sounds. Reading can be hard, you know. Once upon a time, everyone thought I hated to read, but that's just not true. In some books, the words are too big, the sentences are too long, and there are too many pages. In the illustration, you can see it goes on and on and on and on and on. They walked and walked in a dry desert. It took forever and ever and ever. Blah, 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 blah. We waited and waited and waited. Nothing ever happened. In other books, the pictures have zero to do with cool things that I like or what's inside of me. I do try, but sometimes books are so giant. If I stood on them, I would turn into a giant. Other books are so boring, I'd rather use them in pillows. When I'm supposed to be doing reading homework, I'd rather play football in the backyard. When I'm supposed to read the cookbook to help make dinner, I'd rather see how many grapes I can fit into my mouth. Once, I took a wagon full of books to the town swimming pool to find out how good they would swim. I don't know if that's an excellent choice. But I do know friends who have had very similar problems to Mr. Henley in the book department. They couldn't find books that they were interested in or had a hard time finding the just right book for them. When I tried to read books about dinosaurs, they made my brain hurt. So I gave the books back to the dinosaurs. I've tried reading books about mountains, pickles, aliens, monsters, cats chasing mice, mice chasing cats. I even found a book about cats chasing mice up a mountain while aliens eat pickles with monsters. But none of them made reading easier or more fun. But all that changed when Miss Joy gave out the worst homework assignment ever. Worst? Find your very favorite book in the whole wide world and bring it to school tomorrow. It can be a book about anything. Just make sure you love it because you'll be sharing it with the class. The school bell sounded like 100 horns blowing in my ear. Thinking about this yucky homework assignment gave me a super headache and it made my hands sweaty. Sounds like he's feeling nervous about his homework assignment. On the way home from school, I stopped at the mighty library, hoping to find any book that could be my favorite. My friends went into the library ahead of me. When it comes to finding books, I'm not so fast. Inside, there was a nice man sitting behind a jumbo-sized desk. I asked him if he could help me find my very favorite book in the whole world. He showed me books about science and adventure and squishy animals. He flipped through pages of books about flags, farms, and holidays. He found plenty of books with twisty big words, sentences as long as my legs, and pictures that tangled the pages. It gave me the heebie-jeebies. Henley sure is trying, but books just are not his thing. Oh, When I saw my friends in the middle of the library having fun and reading, I felt more lost than ever. The next place I tried was Mrs. Rackley's bookshop. Maybe she could help me find my favorite book. Mrs. Rackley did what she does best. She brought piles and piles of books. I looked and looked and looked, but I couldn't call any of them my very favorite book in the whole wide world. All those pages and all those worlds made my eyes tired. I realized it was going to take a book miracle to find my favorite book. I grew a sad face and stomped all the way home. Poor Henley. Mama was unloading the dryer, and she could tell that I was having a crummy day. I told her all about the worst homework assignment ever. The librarian and Mrs. Rackley tried their best to help me find a book, but it was no use. I'll never find my very favorite book in the whole wide world. With a voice as warm as rolls from an oven, Mama said, Henley, sometimes the best stories can be found inside ourselves. After a sweet kiss on the forehead, Mama's words lit up inside me. I know talking to my mom always helps too. That's when I had a brilliant idea. The next morning, I could hardly wait for my turn to share my very favorite book in the whole wide world. There they all are in community circle, getting ready to share their favorite books. I stood proud as all eyes in the reading circle stared at me. Everyone thinks I hate to read, but that's not true. Yes, some words are too big, and some sentences are too long, but that's not my biggest challenge. Before today, I just hadn't found a book that I wanted to read. I hadn't found the words or pictures or pages or sentences or subjects that showed me me. So last night, I wrote a book. It's called My Very Favorite Book in the Whole Wide World. It's about a big, fat, bumpy journey to finding the perfect book. My book has words and pictures that show me me. When I started reading my book out loud for everyone to hear, I struggled, but soon my words began to flow. The pictures I drew danced off the pages. Everyone can have a very favorite book in the whole wide world, even if they had to write it. When I was done telling my story, all my classmates clapped and cheered. My teacher gave me a gold star on my homework, and that's the truth. Look at his big old good star, gold star. His face to me looks pretty proud as well. And that's the book. Again, that's our author, Malcolm Mitchell. The illustrations in this story are from Michael Robertson, and I really enjoyed those pictures too. I hope you liked it.